Probably all of us enjoy those manhwas that depicts the zero to hero theme. Because one of the best parts of reading manhwas is getting the chance to follow the persistent stories of a weak main character who later develop in a better version of themselves. So today I will be recommending you all top 10 manhwa and manhwa where the loser MC becomes powerful. So let's start a list.
But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want.
Coming at number 10 we have Astral Pet Store. Suping was an ordinary person who gets transmigrated to a world where one's position was determined by the strength of their astral pet. But unlike his talented sister, Supin was bottom feeder who owned a small pet store at a side alley. But his life changes completely when he awakens the super pet system. Now he can train the pets of his customer and make them infinitely strong. Watch him as he uses his cheat to turn from a loser to an undefeatable overlord. At first, the manhwa seems like other cliché system manhwas, but it's way different than them. Its story starts off boring but gets better after a few chapters. The main character here is badass who beats the ones that trash talk him. He's smart and pretends to be all powerful to get what he wants. The side characters are funny and the expressions they make after seeing the main character's powers is just hilarious. Coming at number 9 we have Soul Gear. Zack was an introvert who spent most of his life holed up in his room. But after seeing his father working day in and day out, he decides to change himself and become a chef. All he wanted to do was make his dad proud by becoming a professional chef. But just when he was about to open his own restaurant, a mysterious demonic creature destroys it all. Now, hell-bent on revenge, he makes a contract with one of the strongest ancient soul and sets out to kill every single demonic creature that threaten humanity. The art of this manhwa might be average, but its story is good. The main character is really strong and disguises himself as a chef to keep his powers a secret. Overall, this is a unique manhwa with good potential that you should check out at least once. Coming at number 8 we have I have an SSS rank trade but I want a normal life. The protagonist was an ordinary guy who always wanted to live a peaceful and quiet life. And even after the appearance of monsters and constellations all over the world, he still didn't want to change his way of living. But with the sudden awakening of his SSS rank trait, his peaceful life was over and now he has no choice but to grow stronger in order to protect himself. The art of this manhwa is good and its story is also pretty decent. The main character was an ordinary person at the start but becomes one of the strongest in his country just after a few chapters. The side characters are also very supportive and they help the main character with the best of their ability. So if you like Dungeon and Hunters manhwa, then you should definitely give this one a try. Coming at number 7 we have My Mom is a Constellation. Jaemin was the son of the two strongest hunters who sacrificed themselves while saving the world from a powerful monster. But unlike his parents, he was a weak F-class hunter who was about to die miserably in a dungeon. However, at his last moments, he gets saved by a mysterious constellation who sends him back to the past just before his awakening. Now this time, he promises to live his life differently and become a hero just like his parents. The art of this manhwa is good and its story is also pretty decent. The main character is weak at the start but becomes stronger right after his regression. He uses his knowledge of the future to his advantage and obtains all rare items that he couldn't in his previous life. Coming at number 6 we have Mushroom Hero. The protagonist Wazi was an average student who was only good at playing games. One day he gets invited on a date by a fellow gamer but on his way he gets hit by a truck and wakes up in a fantasy world called Brave Mainland. However, he was no longer human but a mushroom and he has no choice but to kill the Demon King if he wants to return to his own world. Both the art and the story of this manhwa is good. Although it starts off a bit boring, the story builds up really well. The main character is low-level mushroom that works really hard to grow stronger. He goes through character development and learns about his responsibilities and the reason he was given the mysterious power. All the side characters are well written and the situations they create are very funny. So if you like Fantasy World manhwa, then you should give this one a read. Coming at number 5 we have Standard of Reincarnation. Devon was the member of the greatest martial family who was born without a right arm. Despite the ridicule and contempt he got for only having a left arm, he surpassed the successor of his rival family by working really hard. However, he gets betrayed by his family and parents in the end and dies after getting marked as a traitor. But later he gets reincarnated into a new family along with a naturally gifted body and a god named Yulion to help him in his new journey. This manhwa has pretty good art and storyline. and the pacing of its plot is also perfect. The main character is weak at the start, but he works very hard and surpasses all of his enemies. Some of the side characters are a bit arrogant, but they learn their lesson after getting defeated by the main character. Coming at number 4, we have Trapped in a Web Novel as a Good for Nothing. Yu Seong was an ordinary office worker who gets reincarnated in a fantasy web novel that he used to read. His current identity is that of a side character who gets abandoned by the protagonist of the novel and dies later in the story. Now, in order to change his fate, he must find a way to become an awakened and climb the ranks by defeating the monsters and his enemies at the same time. This is a really awesome dungeon and hunters manhwa. Its art is amazing and its story is also pretty decent. The main character uses his knowledge in order to get stronger and recruits all the talented people on his team. He's mature and smart from the beginning and plays a major role in development of the side characters. Coming at number 3, we have Absolute Sword Sense. After being given up on by his family because of his destroyed Danshan, the protagonist So Won-hee was kidnapped by the blood cult and lived his life as a disposable third-rate spy. But one day he gets killed after finding a legendary sword's immortal secret records. However, right after his death, he returns to the day he was kidnapped 10 years ago along with a mysterious ability that allowed him to hear the voice of the swords. The art of this manhwa is amazing and its story is also pretty good. The main character is weak but smart and uses his past life's knowledge to his advantage. The action scenes are great, but the side characters are not that well written and are annoying till the end. Overall, if you are looking for a Murim manhwa with smart main character, then this one is for you. Coming at number 2, we have Infinite Mage. Shiron was a boy of unknown origin who was found abandoned in a hunter's stable. He was raised by the commoners and despite many hardships, he had learned to read without anyone's help. After becoming obsessed with magic, he finally receives a chance to visit the city and see the workings of magic. This inspires him to become a mage, but little did he know that the city was a cruel place where every commoner was treated as garbage. This is a really unique fantasy world manhwa with great art and good storyline. The main character here has no cheat ability and gets stronger purely by hard work. The action scenes are good, but the side characters are unrealistic and they overreact even during simple situations. Other than that, it was really a good read and you should definitely give it a try. Coming at number 1, we have Boundless Necromancer. Han Sung-yoon was an ordinary person who had no talent and almost no aptitude of becoming a hunter. He was looked down on by all of the hunter trainees and even his instructor had given up on him. But due to his persistence and iron will, he was given a chance from the Tower of Trials that gave its candidates rewards based on the trial's difficulty level. Follow Sung-yoon as he completes the trials in the hardest difficulty and becomes strong enough to take revenge for his dead parents. This manhwa is from the same studio that made Solo Leveling. Both its art and its story is great. The main character has a cold personality and isn't the one that forgives others easily. The side characters are just like in any other monster and hunter manhwas. Overall, this manhwa has been amazing till now, so I'll highly recommend you to give it a try. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.